Yomiuriland, here we come. Greetings, fellow YouTubers. Today's video is about one of Japan's most underrated amusement parks. As always, timestamps are in the description, so if you want to skip ahead, feel free to do so. Though it isn't far from our home, it took a while to get there. We had to change 3 times and ride 4 different trains. Total travel time was about an hour and a half. You can see there in the distance, that tower is actually the park. Once we arrived at the final station, we decided to walk up to the park. It is a little bit of a trek, probably about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on your speed. And there is a good amount of stairs, so just be aware of that. However, we did actually enjoy it, and it was a nice day, so we're glad that we chose that route. You can take a bus, and it'll get you a little bit closer, but still a little bit of walking to do. You can see on the right-hand side is the ticket booth, and then people are lined up at the entrance waiting to get in at 3 o'clock because that is when the afternoon pass begins. And that's what we purchased as well because it's a pass that allows you to ride most of the rides without any additional charge. Here's the initial look at the entrance of the park. And you can see there, this tallest roller coaster is called Bandit. And when it was built in 1988, it was the world's tallest and fastest coaster for 1 year before a roller coaster in Cedar Point took over that record. The first ride that they went on was the Carousel. It's a classic ride that never gets old. Here they are coming around. And after that, we went on a mini roller coaster. Let's hear from the boys what they thought about this little coaster. Ansem, what did you think?
I was so scared that I didn't even yell. I just shivered.
And Cohen?
One part is a little, it's a really sudden turn.
Yeah, and you actually get to ride it 2 times, but they both did well and ended up enjoying it. This next ride is called the SeaChicken Go, Hagoromo Go, and you can push a button. It controls the height of the little vehicle. There's a haunted house there as well. We did not have time to do that. And then here's a few other rides here down this street. In total, the park has over 40 rides and attractions. You can see there a newer Ferris wheel next to the old one they are currently deconstructing. Here's the Bandit once again, the tallest and most extreme ride. And there's lots of other rides suitable for children or adults as well. My older son Cohen and I decided to ride Bandit. It was a great ride, so here we are in line getting ready for that. And you can already see a lot of the lights turned on. It's not quite so dark, but it's extremely beautiful. This is part of the go-kart track, which Ferris and Anselm ended up riding while Cohen and I did the Bandit roller coaster. And she said it was just very beautiful to be able to drive the go-kart through essentially a long tunnel of lights. So in the wintertime, the highlight is indeed when the lights come on in the evening. The park has millions of these LED lights, and apparently a lot of it is done by kind of an expert in that field of lights and design. And you can see in this particular section of the park, there is just a beautifully lined street, all lit up, and in the evenings at certain times, there is a light show in sync to a song. So in the winter, it's very beautiful with all these lights. In the spring, it's also very beautiful because a lot of these trees are cherry trees, and so they are in full bloom. And then in the summer, there is a water park that is naturally one of the main attractions. So there's something to head there for in every season. Here's one of the swing rides that we did. It was actually pretty fast and more intense than it looks or appears. And here's kind of another shot of the park from this location. Ferris wheel now in the distance. You can see the taller roller coaster Bandit lit up in those bluer lights in the distance. And this section is the water park, which it's too cold for in the winter naturally, but again, incredibly covered and beautiful with all the lights. And once again, just information about our tickets. We bought the afternoon pass, so we got in at 3. The park closes at 8:30, so some of the rides, they kind of start closing the lines at 7:45 or 8 o'clock, just depending on how many people there are. I haven't calculated precisely, but I would say we got our money's worth. So it's definitely a great option to consider. And there's much more that we didn't do. So you could definitely spend a whole day at the park if you want to plan for that. We went on a Saturday night, especially to see this fireworks and laser and fountain show that they had for a few weeks in the wintertime. And it was probably about 10 to 12 minutes long, and it was indeed quite a sight to behold. But it's not always the case that they have this, so you can kind of check their calendar and see if they happen to have a fireworks or light display. This is kind of the back section of the park here. Again, some rides outside. And you can see these larger buildings. There are some rides inside as well. Once the sun went down, it was a little chilly, but not too bad since the wind kind of died down further into the night. So all in all, it was a good experience for us, and we're still able to have a good amount of fun riding some of these rides later in the evening. With this one here, the more you pedal, the higher your vehicle goes, and if you stop, it will descend a little bit. And after the fireworks and fountain display, a lot of people left, so we were actually able to ride several of these rides without really having to wait hardly any time at all. So we decided to keep riding as much as we could and take advantage of the little amount of time left and the short lines. Earlier in the afternoon and evening, I'd say our average wait time was probably about 20 minutes, but here later at night, probably just 3 to 5. Naturally, like any amusement park, there are souvenir shops and some limited restaurant and food options. Our family ended up buying, I think, 3 cheese corn dogs and some fries for about 2,300 yen, which works out to about $15 at the moment. So probably about what you'd expect for a typical amusement park. Here's one final look at the park. This is from the entrance. Here it is again, now lit up beautifully. And in the evening, they start operating the gondola, so that is an option to get you back down to the station. But the line was really long, so we actually decided to just walk back, and I think we probably made it down faster than if we would have taken the gondola. But that's our look at Yomiuriland, so if you're in Japan, consider going, and thanks for watching.
Make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that like button 2 times or 3.